And now on to Harambee Stars or Harambee Stress, whichever way you want to call them. Not very good result, beating Qatar away, losing to lowly ranked South Sudan. The inconsistency back and forth Rocho. But of course, in studio to help us break down Harambee Stars, we have one Boniface Ambani, a man who shoots from the hip. He is an ex-international and former Harambee Stars striker. Boniface, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much. Pleasure to have me here.
Okay.
Nice to see Rocho. Yesterday he left the stadium.
He left early.
But by the time he was leaving the stadium, by the time he was leaving the stadium, things are not all that well to him. But at least he's back.
Okay.
I'm pleased to see him, and also my sister here. She's good.
Oh, first things first, let's take a look at that footage, how Harambee Stars went down against South Sudan right here at the Kasarani Stadium. Ambani, let's pick it right from there. You've watched that goal, Joseph Okumu back pass, and of course, Okello taking advantage of that. Your thoughts on that game, first of all, Bonnie?
Yeah, we lost against the lowly Southern Sudan, but those guys came, they wanted to win the match, and from the first minute, they showed that they want to win the match, and that's how it went, 1-0, and went back, packed, it was that. You know, actually, the only way I might blame Okumu for that goal, in football, as a defender, what do? You have to scan. You have to look where you. So to me, Okumu actually did not scan where he is. So he did not scan where that striker is. If he had actually scanned where the striker is, then definitely he couldn't have played that back pass. But he did look behind, and always the dangerous points, the dangerous place in football is behind you, the blind side. So you look at that goal, he actually didn't scan behind to know where the danger man was, the striker was, and that's it. But it happens in football. It happened, and I think maybe back in training, back to where he is, he'll definitely think of now correcting it, and I hope maybe the coaches also do that in training, and he'll be fine. Because after that, he just played a very excellent game. So it was the one mistake that the guys took on, and that is it.
Arocho, your thoughts on this, because you watched that game, expectations were so high, most after beating Qatar in Doha. But then you come a lowly ranked team, basically the best of their best play here in the Kenyan Premier League. What went wrong in this game? Well,
I'd like to congratulate Stars for winning the match in Qatar. Basically, it gave us an edge mentally moving into the match. Though I think the preparation, the psychological preparation of the boys were not that well. They got into the match with some attitude, and we felt like Southern Sudan was no match to us. You could even see, you know, we conceded the goal in the first 2 minutes, and moving on from the second minute, it was just pressure. The only time Harambee Stars played was, for me, the first 2 minutes. After that, we are under pressure. The attitude for the players, for the very first time, I'll be hard on the players. The attitude in that match, you could even see the way we were passing the ball just before conceding that goal. But I'll also like to blame my coach. Why am I blaming his reaction? You know, a good coach is not determined. You cannot know a good coach when you're winning. You only know a good coach when you're losing. Yes. How is going to respond to the pressure? How is he going to respond tactically? How is he going to respond mentally, trying to push his players up? I didn't see that in the coach. Look at the Qatar match. He brought in Ayub Timbe. He brought in Nondi. And you could see something. But in this particular match, when we were down, his substitutions were off. The moment he brought in the 2 players or 3 players he brought in, the team went even under. Another thing I'm going to pick on the coach is Clark Oduor. Clark Oduor is a very young lad. That was his debut. You bring in a player, 6 minutes later, you pull him off. For me, that was wrong. If you knew that he was not up to the task, why did you bring him in the first place? And this is why I normally say that the coach doesn't even know his team. I believe that he doesn't know his team. Because the moment you bring in a player for 6 minutes, then you pull him off, it's like picky, ponky. And with the national team, when you start picky, ponky, father had a donkey, surely, what is that?
Picky, ponky, whatever that is. What do you make of that game, Zita?
It was a game that everyone expected for them to win because at the end of it, South Sudan have never won actually here in Kenya, playing against Harambee Stars. So everyone was high expectation was that Harambee is going to beat even South Sudan more than even 3 goals. But again, because of the, as I've said, the pressure. You know, when you give the players had pressure on when they were going to play this game, and again. Off the pitch, I was expecting even the coach to come and say, yes, we've lost, and it's part of the game. We are looking forward to the next game. But what he came out and said, he started complaining with a lot of things have not been paid. Even where we are playing, we have to ask for permission to come and train. And of course, there are some of the problems that we have in football, but those are the things that you're not supposed to tackle them that time. You tackle them, you call a press conference later after the boys have already gone. You're still here in the country. You know, the things that you're tackling it slowly by slowly. So for me, I think the way he came and talked to the press, it was not the right time for him. The right time was just to pull down the pressure from the people, from the fans who came to see the game, from the players who played the game, like just praise them. You know, for me, that is where everything, I think, started going even wrong, more wrong.
Shitera, before I come to you, let's go to Bonnie. And Bonnie probably help tackle this for us. As a former player, as a forward who scored lots of goals, Firat said Kenya lacks creative players, quote unquote. But we have Francis Nyambura Kahata. There's Amos Ndondi was in that team. This Ayub Timbe, probably one of the best dynamic wingers we've had in the last 5 years. Do you agree to these sentiments, Ambani? But then again, how do you address that loss going forward?
I don't agree to his sentiments, but we have players. We have very creative players. The guys you have named. There's Austin, who is playing for Gor Mahia. There's Tyson, who plays for Kenya Police. Those are excellent players who can actually unlock any defense, anytime, any minute. I watched the match, and then he was tactically poor, and he wants to blame Kenya for not having maybe excellent players. But to me, look at it. South Sudan, those guys in the defense line. Let me talk about the defense line of Sudan. Those guys are all tall. Yeah. And what was these guys doing? They were lumping balls in their last third. Yeah, it was just they were just making the job easy for them. Yeah, what do? Tactically, you have to change. Yeah, Olunga, he was there, but he could not even match those guys in the air. So what do you do as a coach? Yeah, you have to change tactics. Yeah, so play it low and fast. Get in guys who can now unlock the defense from the midfield now. You know. But now, he lacked tactical discipline himself. Technically, he can't actually blame us for not having excellent players. We have excellent players. The blame goes to him. He has had all the time to go around and get the players all over. You cannot just stay in Nairobi and then you think maybe you'll get the players in Nairobi. The teams are all over. We have teams all over playing all over this country. So and then number two, who say that all the players who play abroad are supposed to be called the national team? No. You have to know. Okay, fine. This player is playing this country. How fit is he physically? Mentally, spiritually, you know, all those things. You have to when you get the national, when you call a player the national team, you are sure this player is coming to give you 100%. But whatever he's trying to, he's just trying to run away from a situation that he himself has to solve it.
Shitera, picking from that cue, Arocho has in the past talked of this coach is not domiciled in Kenya or Nairobi. He doesn't get time to watch league matches. How does he monitor these players? Do you think this is playing a part in his team selection and probably hurting Stars prospects?
Let me start by our game in Doha, then in Kasarani, and then to the coach. One, I will not congratulate Harambee Stars for winning against Qatar. Why? Qatar are just in the position they are in, 69 FIFA ranking, because they played in the World Cup. By the fact that they hosted the World Cup is the reason why they are in that position. They did not
so you think it's not on merit, it's not a strong team?
They did not play the World Cup by virtue of qualification through a rigorous process. They did because they were hosts. So to me, it's not a team that you would say that we celebrate, we beat Qatar. Let us beat teams that are challenging. Ask Boni, he will tell you. When he was a striker, as a national team, you choose the teams to play. There's no day Boni played Qatar, ask him. There's no day Boni played South Sudan, ask him. Boni played tough teams, Zambia, Algeria, Guinea, name them, ask him, he's here. When we start trading our national team with teams that are below us, with teams that don't have that urge to push forward, then it tells you that we are on our downward trend. Now, let me get back to South Sudan. I will not also blame Joseph Okumu because he was doing his duty defending the national colors. What were our strikers doing? If we had the best team, that goal would have been cancelled in a matter of minutes or two, and then we'll be back on top. It is part and parcel of football, back passing, in as much as you have to check around who is around you. But again, it is a safe way of playing because when the pressure is too much forward, you relieve it by going back. And that is what Joe was trying to do. Unfortunately, he lost it to the opponent. Going to Firat, let us put the hard question to the federation. Has Firat been paid his dues? Probably he will tell you, I don't have a home in Nairobi. Yeah, I will have...
And what is he still doing here?
What is he still doing here? Do you want a situation...
He has a contract.
Wait. Wait, Arocho.
Okay.
Do you want a situation that FC Leopards are in now, that a coach will throw in the towel and go to FIFA report? Probably is doing it professionally. Before I give up, let me give it a push.
10 years. Wait.
Let me give it a push.
May I pick it?
Please, in
a few seconds. First of all, I want to debunk the fact, whatever Shitera is saying, that Qatar is lowly ranked. Qatar won against Mexico before playing Kenya. Qatar picked a draw with Russia just after playing Kenya. So Qatar is not a small team. Secondly, guys,
Qatar is a small team.
No, it's not a small team.
We are going to World Cup in 2026.
You talked in silence.
Let us see if they will qualify.
You talked in silence.
I'm telling you.
You talked in silence.
Ask Boni's here.
A coach worth his salt in Europe has no business to come to Kenya and not being paid. This is a coach who most probably has nowhere to go. Look at where this coach came from. You know, I'm just
nowhere to go, Arocho. But hold on.
But the same coach.
I can't do that.
You see, Arocho is contradicting. Arocho is contradicting himself. We have a poor coach.
Shitera, hold on.
We have a poor coach who beat a team that beat Qatar.
Shitera, hold on. He was in Moldova. He's coached several national teams. The profile of these teams could be the question.
Yes.
But because he has nowhere to go.
No, why am I saying he has nowhere to go? When this coach came from Moldova, what was his CV? In 11 matches that this coach handled Moldova, he had 2 draws. Wait.
But why
and lost
why
all
is
other
Arocho
matches.
contradicting
Guys,
himself?
You know,
we have a poor
let him
coach.
make
I know, please, I did my time.
Beat a team that drew,
Let me
that beat
contradict
Mexico.
myself, then you take it.
You're
on.
contradicting
My
yourself,
point here is
Arocho.
this, guys. My point here is
In
this.
that second place.
This coach, and I'm saying this without fear of contradicting myself.
You're contradicting yourself.
In the next 2-3 years, this coach is going to take us to FIFA. And he's going to take us to FIFA because
we have not paid him.
Guys, we have a rich outlook. Rich outlook.
I just wanted to say this. Like, if you want to put confidence in your team, you try with the same level of where your team is, so that the winning gives confidence to what the players. Before going to those big teams that Ishtera is talking about, we go play Morocco. We go.
Yes, we cannot
But
play Morocco.
You have to start somewhere where
Rizita,
Lady and gentlemen, guys.
probably, and I'm happy Boni is here.
That's why I want us to
wait, I'm
Confidence
happy,
to the players first.
Lady and gentlemen,
Rita, I'm
going to switch off your mics.
I'm happy Boni is
Ibra,
here. A minute.
yes.
I'm happy Boni is here. We used to play on
Terence,
the same wavelength with Algeria. We used to play on the same wavelength with South Africa. Ask him, is here.
How was football then and now? How was our football
we used we used to beat Algeria. We used to beat Zambia. What happened? That is the question.
How was football?
How do we come to a level of being beaten by South Sudan?
Of course, why I said the coach has nowhere to go.
Rocho, hold on. Okay, we'll need a fire extinguisher. My panelists can't agree on this, but let's move on. Of course, Gor Mahia were in good form, beating Nairobi